Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive.
Excited to be here.
Today we're tackling a topic that's really close to, well, all of us.
Absolutely.
We're going to be talking about reproductive health.
Right.
But we're not just going to skim the surface.
No.
We're going deep.
Let's get into
We're
it.
going to be exploring the emotional, the social, and get this, even the political aspects of this really fascinating topic.
Yeah. It's incredible how much our understanding of reproductive health has changed over the years.
Oh yeah, for sure. What do you think has been the biggest shift?
I think we've moved beyond, just thinking about reproductive health as the absence of disease or everything's working okay.
Right.
It's much more than that now.
Yeah, so how do we define it now?
Well, think about it this way. Imagine a world where reproductive health is seen as a state of complete physical, mental, and social well-being.
Wow.
In all matters relating to the reproductive system.
That's pretty powerful.
It is, right.
It is. So it's not just about the physical stuff anymore.
No, it's much broader than that.
It's about the whole person.
Exactly.
So how does that translate into real life?
Okay, so it means taking into account things like emotional well-being.
Yeah.
Right? Access to information and services. And this is huge. The ability to make free and informed choices about your own reproductive journey.
You know what? That's something I really appreciate about this new understanding. It puts the individual at the center.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. It recognizes that you are in control of your reproductive health.
I like that.
That's the key.
Okay, I'm with you. So we're moving away from that purely medical model.
We are.
Toward a more holistic, human-centered approach.
Exactly.
I love that.
It's about recognizing that your emotions, your social context, even your cultural beliefs, all these things, they play a huge role in shaping your reproductive health.
Yeah, it's complex.
It is very complex.
Now, you mentioned that our understanding of reproductive health has evolved over time.
Oh, yeah.
Can you walk us through some of the key moments that have shaped this evolution?
Okay, so one of the most significant milestones, I would say, was the development of the first oral contraceptive pill.
Oh, yeah, back in the 50s.
Back in the 1950s.
Yeah.
That was a game changer.
Huge.
It gave women more control over their fertility, and honestly, it really paved the way for the whole reproductive rights movement.
It's amazing how one scientific breakthrough can have such a ripple effect, right?
It's incredible, isn't it?
It touches so many aspects of our lives.
Absolutely. And speaking of milestones, we can't forget about the International Conference on Population and Development back in 1994.
Well, yeah, in Cairo.
In Cairo.
Right.
This conference really shifted the focus from population control to a more rights-based approach to reproductive health.
I see.
It emphasized individual empowerment and choice.
So it wasn't just about limiting population growth.
No.
It was about making sure that everyone had access to the information and the services they needed
Exactly.
to make their own decision.
Right. And it also acknowledged the importance of addressing gender equality and women's empowerment.
As key parts of achieving reproductive health goals.
Absolutely. Those are integral parts.
Now, when we look at the global landscape, we see these huge disparities in access to reproductive health care.
Yeah, it's a critical point.
And information.
It is.
Around the world.
Yeah.
So while we've made progress in a lot of countries, there are still millions of people who lack access to even basic reproductive health services.
That's right. And especially in low and middle income countries.
What factors contribute to these disparities?
Well, poverty is a big one. Lack of education, cultural barriers, and even political instability all play a role.
Right.
For example, in some regions, women might face restrictions on their mobility or decision-making power.
Right.
Which limits their ability to access health care.
It sounds like we're dealing with this web of interconnected issues.
Yeah, they're very complex.
That need a multifaceted approach.
Absolutely.
So it's not just about providing medical services, it's about tackling the root causes of these inequities and empowering individuals and communities.
That's the goal.
To take control of their own reproductive health.
Exactly.
All right, let's talk about education.
Okay.
It seems like knowledge and awareness are absolutely crucial for making informed choices about reproductive health.
You're right. Education empowers individuals to understand their bodies, their rights, and the options that are available to them.
So what should this education cover?
Well, comprehensive sex education is a must.
Of course.
We need to be teaching young people about their reproductive systems, the changes their bodies go through during puberty, and the importance of safe sex practices.
Talking about sex can be awkward.
It can be a little uncomfortable.
Especially with young people.
Sure.
But wouldn't you agree that equipping them with accurate information is the best way to protect themselves and help them make responsible decisions?
100%. It's about giving young people the tools they need to navigate their sexuality safely and confidently.
Right.
We also need to talk openly about sexually transmitted infections, their prevention and treatment.
It seems like breaking down the stigma surrounding STIs is really important.
It's crucial. Shame and silence only make the problem worse.
Yeah.
We need to create a culture where people feel comfortable seeking information and help without feeling judged.
I love that.
That's what we need.
Okay, let's move on to family planning.
All right.
It's all about giving individuals and couples the power to decide if, when, and how many children they want to have.
Absolutely.
So what resources are available to help people make these decisions?
Well, there's a wide range of contraceptive methods out there,
Right.
from natural family planning to barrier methods like condoms to hormonal options like the pill or IUDs.
So many options.
And there are also more permanent options like sterilization.
It seems like there's no one-size-fits-all solution when it comes to contraception.
That's right.
Finding the right method really depends on individual needs and circumstances.
Exactly. And that's why having access to accurate information is so important, and also having healthcare professionals who can guide you through the decision-making process.
Absolutely.
That's key.
Now let's talk about a topic that often sparks debate.
Okay.
Abortion,
Ooh.
or as it's often referred to, medical termination of pregnancy.
Yeah, it's a complex and sensitive issue for sure, with deep ethical, religious, and social implications.
Yeah, and it's often highly politicized,
It is.
which can make it even harder to have open and honest conversations about it.
Absolutely. But it's crucial to remember that access to safe and legal abortion is a fundamental aspect of reproductive rights.
Right.
When women are denied this right, it can have serious consequences for their health and well-being.
I've read about cases where women have resorted to unsafe abortions
Yes,
because they couldn't access safe and legal services, which
Oh.
is incredibly dangerous.
it can be life-threatening. It's a tragic reality in many parts of the world.
It's heartbreaking.
It really underscores the importance of decriminalizing abortion and ensuring that women have access to safe and compassionate care.
And it's not just about access to the procedure itself. It's about providing comprehensive pre- and post-abortion care,
It is.
including counseling and support.
Absolutely. It's about recognizing the complex emotions and decisions involved and providing women with the information and support they need to make the best choices for themselves.
I think this has been a really insightful conversation so far.
I agree. We've covered a lot of ground, but honestly, we're just scratching the surface.
There's so much more to explore
There is.
when it comes to reproductive health.
So much. It's interesting. We often talk about the beginning of life with reproductive health,
Yeah.
but there's another stage that's often overlooked.
Are you talking about menopause?
Exactly. It's like the other bookend
Right.
of the reproductive journey.
Yeah,
Menopause, it's a natural biological process.
it is.
Marks the end of a woman's menstrual cycles in her reproductive years.
It's not just about periods stopping, is it?
No, it's not just that there are a lot of other physical and emotional changes that happen during this time.
What kind of change?
Well, you've got hormonal fluctuations that can lead to like hot flashes, night sweats,
Oh, yeah.
mood swings, and sleep disturbances.
That sounds tough.
It can be challenging for a lot of women.
For sure. And I feel like there's still a lot of stigma
Oh,
around menopause.
Yeah, there's so much misinformation out there.
So how can we better support women?
Well, I think first we need to normalize talking about it.
Definitely.
It's a natural part of life.
It is.
Women shouldn't feel embarrassed to
Well,
talk about it.
Exactly.
We need to create a space where women feel comfortable sharing their experiences and seeking support.
I agree. So it's about education and open communication.
Absolutely. And ensuring women have access to healthcare providers who are knowledgeable about menopause and its management.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit and talk about infertility.
All right.
It's a topic that can be hard to discuss,
It can be.
but it's so important.
It's a deeply emotional and challenging experience for those who want to have children.
It is.
And it affects millions worldwide. The causes can be really complex.
Like what?
Well, it can stem from the male partner, the female partner, or a combination of both.
Okay.
For men, it could be problems with sperm production, like low sperm count or poor sperm motility.
And for women?
It could be issues with ovulation-blocked fallopian tubes or problems with the uterus.
So many factors.
There are so many.
And I imagine it's tough to diagnose the cause.
Yeah, it can be like detective work sometimes.
What about treatments for couples struggling with infertility?
Well, there have been incredible advancements in assisted reproductive technologies, or ART.
RT.
They offer hope to a lot of couples.
I've heard of IVF.
In vitro fertilization.
Yeah.
It's probably the most well-known RT procedure.
How does it work?
It involves fertilizing an egg with sperm in a lab and then transferring the resulting embryo back into the woman's uterus.
Okay.
There are other techniques too, like ICSI, intracytoplasmic sperm injection,
What?
where a single sperm is injected directly into an egg,
Wow.
which can be helpful in cases of severe male infertility.
Science is amazing.
It really is.
But art eris, it's not a guaranteed solution, right?
No, it's not. And it can be expensive and emotionally taxing.
And the success rates vary.
They do, depending on a number of factors.
So it's not a decision to take lightly?
No, it's important for those going through RD to have counseling and support services.
Shove them through the process.
Exactly.
Now let's talk about sexually transmitted infections,
Okay. STIs.
or STIs.
They affect millions of people worldwide.
And they're often not talked about.
No, they're not. The thing is, many STIs don't cause noticeable symptoms.
Especially in the early stages.
Right.
So people may not even know they have one.
Exactly. And that's how they can unknowingly transmit them to others.
So it's kind of like a silent epidemic.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it. And then there's the stigma,
Right.
which prevents people from getting tested or seeking treatment.
And that can lead to serious health problems.
Absolutely. Untreated STIs can increase the risk of other infections, infertility, and even certain cancers.
What are some common STIs we should be aware of?
Chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, genital herpes, and human papillomavirus, or HPV.
Are all STIs curable?
Well, many STIs like chlamydia and gonorrhea can be treated with antibiotics,
Okay.
but some viral STIs like herpes and HPV aren't curable.
So what can you do?
They can be managed with medication to reduce symptoms and the risk of transmission.
Okay, so early detection and treatment are key.
Absolutely.
How can people protect themselves from STIs?
Practicing safe sex is the most effective way.
What does that mean?
Using condoms consistently and correctly every time you have sex.
Condoms are important.
They're the only method that protects against both STIs and unintended pregnancy.
What else can people do?
Getting tested regularly for STIs is crucial.
Especially if you're sexually active.
Right, and it's important to talk to your sexual partners.
About your sexual history.
Yes, and any potential risks.
Communication is key.
It is open communication, builds trust, and allows you to make informed decisions together about your sexual health.
We've really covered a lot in this deep dive.
We have.
From the personal side of reproductive health to the social and ethical implications.
It's a big topic.
It is, and it's always changing.
Absolutely.
So what's on the horizon for reproductive health? What are you excited about, or maybe a little worried about?
Well, one area that's both fascinating and a little bit ethically tricky is the advancement of reproductive technologies.
Oh yeah, things are moving fast?
We're seeing huge breakthroughs in gene editing, stem cell research, even artificial reproductive organs.
It's like science fiction is becoming reality.
It is, but with these advancements comes some big ethical questions.
Like what?
We'll take gene editing, for example. It has the potential to prevent inherited diseases.
That's amazing.
It is, but
Yeah.
it also brings up concerns about designer babies and genetic discrimination.
Right, it's like opening Pandora's box.
Exactly. We need to be careful and consider the consequences of these technologies before we just let them loose.
I agree. And what about access to these technologies?
That's another huge issue. These cutting-edge technologies are often expensive
Of course.
and not available to everyone, which could make existing health disparities even worse.
So it's not just about the science, it's about making sure everyone benefits.
Exactly. That's where social justice and advocacy are crucial. We need to ensure that everyone has the opportunity to benefit from these advancements.
Because reproductive health is a human right.
It is not a privilege.
So what are some of the key trends shaping the future of reproductive health?
One big trend is personalized medicine.
Okay.
With advances in genetic testing and data analysis, we're moving towards a more individualized approach to healthcare.
Tailoring treatments to each person.
Exactly. And this personalized approach has the potential to change how we prevent, diagnose, and treat all sorts of reproductive health issues.
That's incredible. What else are you seeing?
Another trend is the focus on men's reproductive health.
Finally.
I know, right? For too long, it's been seen as a women's issue.
Yeah.
But we're starting to recognize that men play an equally important role.
It's about time.
It is. We need to break down the stigma and encourage men to be proactive about their reproductive health.
So that means regular checkups, safe sex, and seeking help when they need it.
Exactly. It's a shared responsibility.
Not just a woman's burden.
That's right. And when we all work together, men and women, healthcare providers, policymakers, we can create a world where everyone has the opportunity to achieve optimal reproductive health and well-being.
This has been such a great conversation.
It has.
We've learned so much.
We've only scratched the surface, but I hope our listeners have gained a better understanding of reproductive health and feel empowered to take control of their own reproductive journeys.
Absolutely. And as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with one last thought. Reproductive health is constantly evolving.
It is.
So stay informed, engage in open conversations, and advocate for policies that promote reproductive rights and justice for all.
Well said. Reproductive health is not just a personal matter. It's a societal issue that affects us all by working together. We can create a future where everyone has the opportunity to live healthy, fulfilling lives and make informed choices about their reproductive health.
And on that note, we'll wrap up this deep dive. Until next time, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep those conversations going. And I